Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg, and today we're going to be playing Pathfinder Kingmaker. So, I'm under the assumption that if you're watching this, you have already watched my Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous. I don't know why you would watch this one first instead of that, but I recommend going back. Even though Wrath of the Righteous was the second game released, I ended up playing it first because I had heard good things about it and tried it out. And it was a very long Let's Play. It's a very long game, but it was a hell of a lot of fun. And now I want to keep the ball rolling. So now we're going back, and I'm going to play Pathfinder Kingmaker. This one is not rated as highly on Steam, but keep in mind that this one has been updated here and there over the years. They've added in some things, like it actually has a turn-based mode, much like Wrath of the Righteous. It did not have that originally. So that's good. We can just play it turn-based, like how I like. And various other updates, and as well, there's a fairly decent modding community for Kingmaker. So we have some mods, and unlike Wrath of the Righteous, where I was like, I don't want to do any mods, I just want to play it, here I have incorporated some mods. Nothing game breaking or anything. I mean, obviously we're not like cheating or anything. But I went through and I picked some stuff that people recommended and stuff that I thought wouldn't like break the game or fit well. Things that fit well with the base game. Some various fixes like proper flanking. So flanking actually works how it does in Wrath of the Righteous, whereas originally it was weird. Things that add in new classes, new subclasses, new races, things that were from like the tabletop game. So the big mod is Call of the Wild. That adds in just a whole slew of things. Various other things. Buffbot, we're actually going to use that because that was really like the biggest pain of Wrath of the Righteous, was not having a Buffbot mod. A respec mod for full respecking, some other little tweaks, kingdom resolution. I don't know if we're going to use it. I have it turned off right now because I actually want to see what running a kingdom is like. Yeah, and then Bag of Tricks is like the big giant tweak mod. I have not looked at all the options in there, so we'll see, but yeah, nothing huge. Alright, so yeah, I've played like the first hour of this game like 4 times, because I just kept on trying different builds, and I was just like, okay, I'll play Kingmaker on my own. So I've not gotten past like an hour or so. But now we're gonna play it for real. And as I talked about when I was playing Wrath of the Righteous, I've got 2 stipulations for my playthrough here. Well, I guess 3 technically. We're gonna be playing on normal difficulty, untweaked, just straight up normal difficulty. So this is not gonna be like a huge challenge or anything. But I'm not allowing myself any mounts, because I found in Wrath of the Righteous, mounts just kind of dominated it, and I felt like if you didn't have a mount, you were at a severe handicap. As in, like, if you had 2 melee characters with mounts and then a third one without a mount, he just felt gimped. So for this time, I'm just saying, fuck it, no mounts whatsoever. I'll take an animal companion if it works out that way, but I'm not going to mount it. And then finally, I'm not going to use any like net decks. I'm not going to use any builds online or that other people have come up with. Everything is just going to be my own decisions. That was a bit of a trickier proposition in Wrath of the Righteous, just because I didn't know nearly anything. But now that I'm somewhat familiar, I think we can come up with some reasonable builds for normal difficulty. All right, so the main story: explore the Stolen Lands, a wild territory that has been contested for centuries. Hundreds of kingdoms have risen and fallen in these lands, and now it is time for you to make your mark by building your own kingdom. To succeed in this, you'll need to survive the harsh wilderness and the menace of rival nations, as well as perils from within your own court. Based on how long to beat, this will be close to the same length as Wrath of the Righteous. The number for the main story is actually longer, but the number for main story plus extra is about the same. So I assume it's going to take us a similar amount of time, which is a lot. All right, so normal difficulty, straight up. I'm not even going to fuck with it. This is just like, it's the default option. It's right in the middle. It's normal. This is what they kind of expect people to play on the first time, I would think. Now, it's a little fucky compared to most games' normal difficulty, because you can already see like how it's not like baseline, right? You have critical hits at weak. You have enemy stat adjustments at somewhat easier enemies. Damage to party is lower. Things like that. That it's like, oh, well, that's not right. I should be playing on challenging. Except that challenging bumps it up to somewhat tougher enemies. So not even normal enemies. But I think normal is fairly good. I think it's fairly good. We do get the death store thing, which I think is a big help. Enemy difficulty is at normal, so their ability scores aren't touched or anything like that. The enemy stat adjustments, not exactly sure what it does, but it does adjust DCs. Yeah. It all seems fairly fine. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Because we're not going to be as powerful as Wrath of the Righteous. And that's an interesting thing, is that I think overall this game's going to be tuned a little bit lower because you don't have mythic abilities. And your mythic path in Wrath of the Righteous is very big. I mean, if you go the legend path, you can be a level 40 character. And it's kind of balanced around a level 40 character. Somewhat. So yeah, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very different. All right, so I don't really know what I want to play here as my main character. You know, in Wrath, I was just a straight up sorcerer, just spellcaster through and through. Nothing too exciting there. But this time, I think I want to be more of like a paladin. Or I want to be someone with like a big shield and a spear. And some sort of spells. Not necessarily clerical spells. But some sort of spells. We could be a little halfling female. She looks so sad. She's so sad. I gotta say, this portrait collection is a little uninspired. Did I not grab like an extra portrait? I feel like there's got to be like thousands of portrait mods. Hold on. Okay, well that took a while. I had downloaded portraits, in fact. I downloaded like over 1,000 of them. I had just not like, you know, dealt with it, installed it, whatever. So now we have a lot of portraits, but unfortunately there's no organization whatsoever in game. Apparently you have to use like a third-party tool, or I mean, a lot of people are complaining about it, but this is the highest rated thing because it's a fuck ton of like high quality portraits. So what we do then is just scroll through one by one with no organization until we find something that's like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's kind of booby. So, yeah, for right now, we're looking for a portrait of like a female. That would be kind of cool. She's got a spear. Some sort of tanky, not evil looking female. That would be kind of cool too. God, yeah, there's a lot of great portraits in here. It is a little on that sort of side of thing. This is pretty good. I like that. Let's just go with that. Yeah. I saw the 1,000. I looked at 20. You know how it goes. All right. So, race. Last time I played an Aasimar. I think that's a reasonable choice, but you know, we kind of want to do something different. I could be like a reformed drow. Ganzi are mutations caused by generations of exposure to chaotic energies in the material plane. Or we could just be human. Humans are fun and exciting, right? Everybody likes humans. Alright, it's probably not the most interesting choice, but you know, it's always solid. Something like that is probably okay. Sure. All right, class. Here's your class list, including prestige classes, some that are not available to you, such as like dragon. You know, it's obviously 4 dragons. Animals, there's 4 animals. I don't know why they show up in this list, but you know, who knows? So, we want to be a spellcaster-ish melee person, so there's a lot of options for that. There's a lot of options on both sides. You can pick a spellcasting class with like a melee-ish subclass. Not all of them have such things. Or you can pick a melee class with like a spell-ish subclass, which again, not all of them have such things, but like Beastkin Berserker lets you turn into an animal. I don't know if it lets you do it at level 1. No, here you go. Level 4, you can turn into a wolf. Level 8, you can turn into a bear or a dire wolf. 12, you can take on a Smilodon or a Mastodon. Interesting, but not really what we're looking for. So here's a Blood Rager. Blood Rager's kind of just in general a melee spellcaster. So they get stop it. So they get Blood Rage, which is like a barbarian rage. You get +2 bonus on melee attack rolls, melee damage rolls, thrown weapon damage rolls, will saving throws, -2 to AC, and 2 temporary hit points per hit die. While in a rage, a Blood Rager can cast spells. Doesn't really show what kind of spells you can cast, but that's an option. And then there's subclasses. Like Spell Eater lets you consume spells. At 5th level, a Spell Eater can consume spell slots for an extra dose of healing. As a swift action, you can consume 1 unused Blood Rager spell slot to heal 1d12 damage for each level of spell slot consumed. It's very interesting. Here's a Steel Blood, which is a heavy armor Blood Rager. It's all very interesting. If you want to just go around in heavy armor without the penalties for spell casting, that's a possibility. But I know that one of the first characters we get as a companion is a barbarian that is going to be raging all the time. So I don't know if I'd lean Blood Rager. All these druid subclasses. Look at all these fighter subclasses. Okay. It's a lot of choices, and then you can combine 2 subclasses if you want, and oh my gosh. Relic Hunter Inquisitor gets Orizons, or however they're pronounced. First level of Relic Hunter gains the Occultist Implements class feature and learns to use 2 Occultist Implement schools as Relic schools. And you learn the 2 base focus powers from her chosen relic school and can select 1 or more focus power from the list of those made available by her chosen school. What exactly does that all mean? Well, we'd have to dive a little deeper to look. Okay, that's a possibility. Investigator. So they get sneak attack. Sort of. It's not actually a sneak attack, it's a studied strike. But it's pretty close. It's not really a... I mean, God, there's just so many options, man. I could be a psychic detective. We could just switch gears entirely. Just use psychic spells drawn from the psychic spell list. Okay. Kineticist. They have the Kinetic Knight. Dons armor and wields a blade of elemental energy. That's pretty cool. This is definitely a strong possibility because I think it's pretty cool. Also, the kinetic chirurgeon. This is if you want to be more into healing, I guess. Kinetic healer. Oh, and you get like paladin mercies to heal debuffs. It's an interesting thought. God, look at just so many options. Magus has some interesting subclasses related to being like a melee spellcaster. Arcane pool, you can spend arcane points to grant any weapon he's holding a +1 enhancement bonus for a minute. And then you can add other buffs to it. As spell combat, at first level, our Magus learns to cast spells and wield his weapons at the same time. This functions much like two-weapon fighting, but the offhand weapon is a spell that is being cast. So that's if we wanted like an actual kind of just like battle mage sort of thing. Not necessarily like a sword and board. But here's Skinner, which is based around using a shield instead. So you buff your weapon and your shield. Ooh, this is pretty cool. I kind of might go with this. Oh, you're immediately proficient with tower shields and do not suffer an arcane spell failure chance when casting Magus spells while using a shield. Wow, this seems pretty much what I would want. Let's go with this. Obviously, there's loads more options we could look at. But yeah, I think this is kind of what I was interested in. Okay, so then we have a mod that lets you pick your favorite class. Which whenever you gain a level in this class, you get an extra hit point per level or skill rank per 2 levels. So you know, I guess it kind of promotes single classes. I'm not sure why I grabbed it, but I did. So we want Magus. For our deity, last time we picked Abadar. I don't know if there's a god of spears. There's a god of tridents. Not that it really matters. There's probably a better way to pick it, because I don't think it actually gives you any sort of buff. But it seems as good of a way as any to pick. It's a long spear, but we're not going to be using that. Well, let's go with the god of tridents. Gozra. Dualistic deity of nature, god of the storm and sky, and also goddess of the wave and surf. Sure. Alternative racial traits. So I think we can give up our bonus feat to take something else, such as +2 to perception, and whenever you acquire an animal companion, cohort, familiar, you get +2. That creature gains +2 bonus to 1 ability score. You know, the bonus feat is probably what you want, unless you have some specific build in mind. Like this, you can take a +2 racial bonus on caster level checks against spell resistance. There's a world where that's a better choice than a feat, But I think for a melee martial kind of character, we want feats. So then for our favorite class, we can take a bonus hit point, which is solid. We can take half of a skill rank, which basically means that we just invest for the next time we level up, then we could actually get a skill rank. Or we invest in this, a quarter of a point to our arcane pool. So if we pick this over 4 levels, we'd get 1 extra arcane pool. I think health is a reasonable choice. Okay. So it recommends intelligence and dexterity. I don't know. Let me just Google something real quick. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Spears are not finesse weapons in any way. So we'd have to yeah. So I don't know how much we want to really invest in dead decks. I think we can dump wisdom, even though it's our will saving throw. Dump charisma and get strength up to like 18 and intelligence up to 16, the rest into dex, something like that. You know, this is what happens when I don't look stuff up. We're just spitballing. I don't think it's the worst build in the world. They recommend dex, but if I'm gonna be using spears, then I want strength. Now, that's the thing, though, is that I'd probably be better off using any other weapon, like a rapier, and then I could just go all in on dex and not worry about strength as much. And then I'd be just a nice, tanky, doable character. But I specifically want spears because it's like, you know, my favorite kind of weapon. So we'll be a little gimped. That's why we're playing on normal. Okay. So for feats, we could take power attack. Arcane strike, but we already get that. We already get that as part of our thing, so it's useless. Combat casting, +4 bonus on concentration checks made to cast a spell or use a spell-like ability. That might be good, I don't know. Combat reflexes for ops, die hard, dodge. Dodge could be good. Or we could take God, there's a lot of meta magic choices. A logical spell can be cast without emotion components, i.e. even if under fear or negative emotion effect. God, that seems very specific, doesn't it? There's a lot of meta magic. We could take shield focus. which is something. I'm surprised that like weapon focus or something isn't an option. What do you have to have for that? Hold on, let me just look at unavailable. Weapon focus. You have to have a base attack bonus of 1. Apparently we don't have that. Okay, well, what did I say was a good option? Oh, dodge. I think dodge was a high contender. Or combat reflexes. Artful dodge lets you use intelligence for feats with a minimum dexterity prerequisite. But it's not as good as dodge because you have to be the only character threatening an opponent. So it's not quite as good as dodge. All right, let's take dodge for that one. Then we get a trait. So this is just an extra little buff. It's like a mini feat, kind of. Like +1 to reflex saves. When you hit a foe you're flanking, you deal 1 additional point of damage. +2 to initiative. Threatening defender. When you use combat expertise, reduce the number you subtract from your melee attack rolls by 1. Hold on. What was combat expertise? Choose to take a -1 penalty on melee attack rolls and combat maneuver checks to gain a +1 dodge bonus to your armor class. So it's kind of like defensive fighting. And we could make that better. We could pick an heirloom weapon of specifically spears. Like specifically a short spear. Because I think a spear is a two-handed weapon, but I don't remember exactly. Oh gosh, I don't know. There's just a lot of choices. You could take magic traits. +2 to concentration checks. There's so many choices. When performing a shield bash, you deal 1 additional point of damage. Once per day is a free action. You may provide an adjacent ally a +2 bonus to his armor class. I don't know. I think just taking something simple like Anatomist, just +1 to confirm crits. It's fine. And +2 against charm and compulsion effects. Sure. Then we get another feat, or bonus feat. What's Mage's Tattoo? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, let's go for some good AC, I guess. So let's go with shield focus. Fine. All right, our spells. We get quite a few choices. So, Blade Lash. As part of casting the spell, you can use this weapon to attempt to trip combat maneuver against one creature within 20 feet. Gain a plus 10 bonus on your roll, after which the weapon returns to its previous form. Damn. So just a plus 10 on a trip attempt. Tripping's really good. Gotta take that. Blade Tutor lessens the penalties on stuff like power attack or fighting defensively. 1 minute per level. That's actually not bad. What other stuff? Warding weapon. While it protects you, you can cast spells without provoking attacks of opportunity without the need to cast them defensively. Okay, I don't know if that's good or not for my build. That's the thing. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's grab Blade Tutor, and then I think we just want to grab some normal spells. Enlarge Person, absolutely. Burning Hands we want, because I know about the swarms. Probably not stuff that's just like damaging, just like Snowball or something. Maybe True Strike. Shield spell, I don't know if that's actually useful for when you have a shield. I don't think so. You'd think magic weapon, but it's a +1 enhancement bonus on attack and damage rolls, but it doesn't even stack with Masterwork. I mean, in Wrath of the Righteous, we got Masterwork pretty easily and quickly. I don't know. Probably Grease is always kind of like good. Let's take Color Spray and Grease.
A trivial task.
Hold on. Just a little more.
We cannot be defeated.
Let us be careful.
All right. Birthdays still don't matter. Name, of course, Taco B. Alignment, we have to be neutral good. Or chaotic neutral, neutral evil, lawful. We have to be neutral of some kind. I'm not sure why specifically. Neutral good is probably pretty good.
No contest.
All right, there's our character. Is it amazing? I don't know. It is a bummer that we didn't get a base attack bonus at level 1. I'd have to look at the progression to really see. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to be ripping and tearing. We're a bit more versatile than that, hopefully. But yeah, that took a long time, as usual.
Our story started at the mansion of an Aldori sword lord. Drawn by the promise of a most dangerous task and a commensurately huge reward, heroes of all stripes gathered here.
Where are they? This is taking forever! They didn't even say what this was for, just that the Aldori were looking for heroes. Who are the Aldori anyway? Rich folk?
If you can't be patient, no one's keeping you here. Just go back to your mountains or whatever hole you crawled out of. The Aldori Sword Lords run the premier school for the dueling arts. They're also the richest and most influential group in this part of Brevoy. Take that tone with them, and they'll teach you some manners pretty quickly.
He has such a creepy face.
All right, you purple toad, just shut your trap. And if you can't, I'll help you.
Hush! Quiet! They're coming.
Greetings, everyone. I am Sword Lord Jamandi Aldori, and this is Lord Mayor Yosef Selimius of Restov. Welcome to my mansion.
We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for responding to our call. You may be few, but that's unavoidable. We need only the best of the best for this task. And I see true heroes before me, strong and fearless, exactly what Restov needs.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Now, to the point. South of here, just beyond Brevoy's border, lies a region known as the Stolen Lands. This is disputed territory, and while it's long been claimed by nearby states, it's never been truly taken. I won't bore you with the legal technicalities. Suffice to say that anyone with enough courage and power to seize the Stolen Lands and name themselves Baron or Baroness, claiming dominion, well, none of the neighboring states would be able to challenge it. Of course, Restov would be first to recognize the legitimacy of this new state, as well as the noble title of its founder. Unfortunately, one serious obstacle stands between you and this title. A gang of bandits holds sway in the Stolen Lands. Their chief, who they call the Stag Lord, considers himself the rightful owner of these lands, and no one has yet been able to challenge his power. Bring me his head, and you'll be able to return to the Stolen Lands as their legal ruler. Any questions?
There's a whole team of us. Who exactly will receive the Baron's title?
I will, of course. I'm the leader of this team, after all. Don't worry, though. I'll make it worth your while to help me.
We haven't yet begun, and you already speak of divvying rewards. What makes you think we'll even succeed? There's little point arguing over who gains the title when we'll most likely lose our lives there.
If I may please answer the question. We believe you're all equally deserving of a noble title. Over the course of your expedition, it will be up to you as a team to decide which of you is best suited to rule.
Why not just recognize this Stag Lord as Baron?
That's a good point. As I see it, this Stag Lord already holds power over the region with confidence. Many noble bloodlines were started by bandits who just got lucky, weren't they?
Perhaps because we do have standards to maintain. This room has seen many celebrations of adventurers, and even those who just got lucky. But giving a noble title to a bandit lord? That's one thing that's never happened here, and it won't while I still breathe.
You're helping us found a barony? What do you gain from such generosity?
Don't ask stupid questions. Why should you even care? What they have to gain and why, that's for Lady Aldori and I to discuss. It's none of your concern. Your only concern is to swing your sword around, or whatever it is you do.
Of course, we stand to benefit from this enterprise. But if you're concerned that we intend to rule your country from afar, using you as a front, well, please know that these concerns are unfounded. Let's just say that we have a strong interest in the region's stability. We have need of a ruling power we can negotiate with, not bandit gangs and monster hordes.
What is that smell in the air? Is it the smell of unspoken words and political intrigue?
Clear's day.
Excellent. You venture forth tomorrow. For now, you can take some time to get to know one another better. Or you can head straight to your guest rooms to get some rest. You'll find we've already prepared supplies for you there. And thank you again for agreeing to take part in this expedition. I wish you luck.
Thank you again, with all my heart, for replying to this call. The flare in your eyes reveals your courage, the unshakable will that distinguishes true heroes. I look at you, O champions of Restov, and doubt not for a second that you'll be victorious. So venture forth toward your feet, go, and return in triumph.
All right, pretty simple setup.
Hi, my name's Lindsay. I'm a bard, though this is my first real adventure. So, shall we go teach this stag lord a lesson?
I'm Taco Bee. Pleased to meet you.
Likewise. Actually, I also wanted to ask you something. How do you feel about this Tartuccio fellow? I think he's pretty obnoxious personally. He appointed himself head of the team, and he's just after the Baron's crown, or whatever it is barons wear. Doesn't matter. I don't like him. I think you should be team leader. When I first saw you, I couldn't help but think, now here's a real hero. Someone who'll be praised in poems and songs. This is the person I'll write my book about.
Wait, a book?
Damn, I should have led with that. Please, just let me explain. You know what the trouble with most heroes' biographies is? They're always written years later, based on the tales of, best case, people who saw things from the outside. Worst case, someone heard about it from their brother, who heard it from their friend, who heard it from their cousin, and so on, adding a new batch of lies each time. Every time I read about a heroic journey, I think to myself, why didn't they just bring a bard with them to write it all down properly? And then I thought, I could be that bard. I just needed to find a suitable hero and volunteer to follow along on their glorious adventure. A great plan, huh? And here we are, with a heroic journey lying before us. Who's going to be the hero? Some dwarf who keeps muttering about how we'll all die? Or maybe that horrific scythe lady? Or, God's forbid, Tartuccio? No way.
Not a bad plan. It's settled then. I'll accomplish the feats, and you'll write them down.
Deal. All right. I'm going to my room to write about tonight. See you in the morning.
Yeah, Lindsay's great. Okay, so let's just take a look here. I have one spell memorized, and it's Burning Hands. If I was going to pick one spell, it'd probably be Blade Lash. Or Enlarge Person. It's pretty good, too. We do have 4 points in our pool. So we can, as a swift action, grant any weapon or holding a +1 enhancement bonus for 1 minute. Or we can do Arcane Shield Enchantment. Grant an enchantment bonus to our shield for 1 minute. Yeah, the rest of this stuff is kind of default actions. Touch of Fatigue is a cantrip. Yeah, okay. Obviously, we have a lot of cantrips, but I don't know. I don't know how often we'd use them. So Spell Strike is on. Whatever exactly that entails.
I'll go ahead.
Help! Help!
What's going on?
The mansion's under attack. We need to help. Some villains broke in and started killing everyone. I barely made it. Hurry, we have to help the guards fight off the attackers or we'll all be cut down one by one.
Okay. You could have just stayed in here. But all right. Combat. Yes, yes. Yeah. All right. Well, let's swing. Boom, baby. The rapier we got. So we have +4 to our roll. He had 7 AC because he was flat-footed. And we did 1d6 +4 damage. Pretty solid. What have I got on? I got studded leather on. Okay, okay, Well, then, yeah, equip this instead. Hold on. Yeah, okay. And we have a rapier, and we have a heavy shield. Nice. Yeah, I'll get to it.
Clear.
I'll get to it. Don't worry. First, I gotta pop in here.
Watch each other.
Alright. Lindsay just as a little crossbow. We can charge in. I can buff my weapon real quick. Charge! Boom, baby! How dare you go after Lindsay? Charge! Boom!
Time. A bit longer and I'd have been... Whew, I don't even want to think about it. Can you imagine what a terrible loss this would have been? But it's all right now. I'm safe, sound, and unscathed, ready to lead you to victory. Lady Jamandi's holding the line in the banquet hall. You know, the one where she had us gathered before. We need to make our way to her. And along the way, we'll try to save some of these dummies who are supposed to accompany us to the Stolen Lands. Speaking of dummies, take this ring. Quiet now, so that little fool doesn't hear us. She might try to steal it herself. It's magical. It'll protect you. You'll need it while you work to defend me.
Okay. So yeah, we got his present. +1 bonus to armor class. Deflection bonus. Yeah, 21 AC. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Tread lightly.
Not amazing, but pretty good.
Epic pose. I need inspiration.
Okay, so Lindsay has Inspire Courage as a bard song. +1 morale bonus on saving throws against charm and fear effects. +1 competence bonus on attack and weapon damage rolls. Yeah, that's pretty good. Taco B. I could go past this guy and take the op, but we'll just smack him.
Forward.
Boom! 15 damage. Get crit on. Artuccio could get in there and Burning Hands, or I could just stand here and shoot a ray of frost. There you go. That's right, you ain't hitting me, baby. You ain't hitting me, baby.
Serves you right.
Yep. That'll do it.
Just die already!
Well, so far our build is competent.
You deserved it.
Aim carefully.
Yeah, we've not missed yet. I mean, I don't think that's how you actually swing a rapier, but what do I know? Yeah. Heavy mace. Hide armor. It's basically the same as the chain shirt, except worse. The heavy mace we could throw on. Does have a worse crit, but it does do 5 to 12 damage. This thing has the enhancement bonus on it. But it's a little higher.
Let us be careful.
Everyone's been killed. It's horrible. We can loot all the food.
Clear.
For Gorum! It's the end for you rats!
And then our leader charged forwards. Hey, wait for me.
So this is Amiri, I'm sorry, who is the barbarian that I mentioned. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good.
To get my hands dirty again.
Any last wishes?
Ooh.
Oh, it's you. Stay up from under my feet or I'll strike you down. Blood for Gorum!
Barbarians.
I think that's exactly how heroes should be.
What, stupid, sweaty, and always looking for something to gobble up or lop the head off of? Calistria, save me from such heroes.
Yeah, you can't argue with the results, though. Boom. Fucking frost giant just leveling them. Yeah, dealing with some formidable stuff. Okay, longsword, that's probably more what we want. Or a spear, but it is two-handed, so not what we want. And a light shield isn't something we want either. But yes. That's just better. It's just better. It's just better. Look at that, 1d8. 19 to 20 crit. But the longsword is a martial weapon. So you do have to have the proficiency.
Anything else?
They dare to attack me?
Yeah, I mean, we still don't really need spells. Taco Bee can kind of handle it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Buff.
Attack!
Enough of your bullshit. Lindsay, heal me.
Yes.
Level 1 heals. Really, really incredible. That's better.
A solid plan.
Yeah. Not too shabby, I must say. Alright, we're gonna just drink a potion real quick. And put that on your bar. And actually, let me go into the mod menu here. Bag of tricks. So there's a lot. Restore item charges after combat. Oh no, that would be a cheat. No. Oh, mods. Here we go. I was under the cheat section. Automatically refill consumables in belt slots. There you go. That's pretty much all I care about. Yeah, that's probably all I care about. That'll be handy.
Applause, please.
Head into the armory. Maybe we can find some heavy armor. Oh, yeah. Well, we get a little fucked on the dexterity, but overall it's an upgrade. Assuming we don't care about armor check penalty, which I think that's for, yeah, that's for mobility and stealth and athletics. Does suck. Composite longbow, masterwork light mace. Why not?
Path is clear.
A tower shield. Boy, we could really be tanky, but then you get the -2 attack bonus, which is kind of rough. So there is oh, this might actually be better. I think this is going to be the same AC. Yeah. Better flat-footed and touch. Actually, slightly worse flat-footed. That makes sense. Yeah, but overall that's a better choice. And we got a composite longbow. I don't think Lindsay can, no. In a perfect world, she could use it. I mean, maybe it's worth investing to let her do some more range stuff. So I want to be able to rotate the camera. But it's not tied to the scroll wheel press. So I don't know if we can actually do it with the scroll wheel, because that's, so you don't ever need to rotate the camera in this game. Nothing is ever hidden like that the way it is in Wrath. But yeah, I guess there isn't a way to just do it. Okay, no, that's... It's a lot of people complaining about Wrath of the Righteous where they couldn't move the screen with the middle mouse button. But I guess there's not a way... I don't know. I mean, I guess I gotta get used to this.
Let us be careful.
Oh, familiar faces. I hope you're not so frightened as to swing at every shadow. It's me, Jaethal. I don't recommend advancing down the hallway, assuming you value your life, of course. There were a few people with me, and you can see what happened to them.
And just how did they all end up dead while you don't seem to have a scratch?
I'll answer but briefly and just once. Further scares and explanations will wait until we aren't being hunted by a group of assassins. Deal? All right. I'm undead. These traps are deadly to the living, but they're harmless to me.
What do you mean undead? Really? Like zombies or skeletons or...
As I said, further explanations will wait until later. All you need to know right now is that we're on the same side, and we have to fight off a small army of hired assassins. Let's get to it.
All right. So here's your trap tutorial. In Wrath, the disarm was a separate thing that you had to find and was connected by like a red line. Here, the disarm is just on the trap itself. So I think in Wrath, they made it somewhat more realistic, but also making it more interesting because sometimes you had to like maneuver around multiple traps to get to the disarm for one of them, and so on and so forth. Ooh, chainmail might be the best bet. There's a fauchard, which is a polearm that has trip on it, which is really good. I think a lot of people like to spec into fauchards. Yeah. Actually, no, this is worse. Breastplate's really solid. Okay. We're good. Some more scrolls. Scroll of Bless.
Let's make this quick!
You can probably real time this. There you go. All right, so there's a statue puzzle here. There's 5 statues. So there's 2 in this room and 3 in this room, or is it 4 in this room? 4 in this room. And they all have swords pointing up or down. You have to click on them to make them go up or down. And I spent quite a bit of time futzing with it. It's really obnoxious, so just use a solution. There's 2 different rooms you open. One is with all the swords up, one is with all the swords down. So there's the one room. Okay. And then the second is with all the swords down. There you have it. The stuff you get is not like mind-blowing, so it's not really worth your effort if you're against just looking up solutions. But you get a wand of magic missile, which is not terrible, and some masterwork nunchaku.
The path is clear.
I could see putting this on her. But moving on.
You cannot stand against me.
Taco B, go. Boom. Dude, you need a 20. You need a 20 to even speak to me. Well, she can't get in there. She does have judgment, Justice. +1 sacred bonus on all attack rolls. And Judgment Protection. +1 sacred bonus to armor class. I don't really know how her stuff works. Once per day, you can declare a judgment. Yeah, okay. Not really much point in discussing it. What did I tell you? You need a 20 to speak to me.
Just die already!
Forwards.
No. Still nothing.
This is where I step in.
Unworthy.
There you go.
Wretched things.
I don't know why they're so interested in
Aim carefully.
seeing Taco be dead. Alright, yeah. Let's not waste our lives here. Level 1, baby. There you go.
Ah! Everything is so much fun with a little fire. What a night, huh? I thought I was all alone. It's good you're here. A bit boring, chasing fool assassins without anyone watching the show.
It's not fun at all. Many people have died for nothing.
You sound like a Kelishite, am I right?
Of course. I'm from Kadira. But tales of hot deserts and shady oases can wait until the fighting's finished. But if you'd like to share a dinner and pleasant conversation, just say the word. I like making new friends.
There are assassins on the prowl. We have to go.
I don't know where you're heading, but I'll be at the entrance to the main hall. I think I saw some guards there. Join me there, if you wish.
So yeah, you can obviously see there's like a division building between this large group. Especially when you have like a kingship on the line, or barony.
Hovering over me. It won't be much longer. Soon we shall meet, O Lord of Oblivion.
Aren't you being a bit premature? Look at yourself, you barely got a scratch.
That's impossible. Oh, it seems you might be right. It seems I will live. I suppose I must postpone meeting my god, not for long, I'm sure. But while we remain in this transient world, Arim is at your service.
I believe it's the same voice actor as Greybore, if you're curious.
Tread lightly.
You, run and get an axe. You, bring more water. You, stay here and hold our defense. Those assassins are still around here somewhere. Aha! Some of our guests survived. Good. You need to get to the banquet hall and help Lady Jamandi.
What's going on here?
Someone opened the gate, let in a group of assassins in the middle of the night. Now they've set the mansion on fire to cut off access to the hall. They don't want Lady Jamandi to get reinforcements. We cleared the passage so you can get through. Just try to avoid inhaling the smoke. We'll be right behind you. We just need to put out the fire first to save the mansion.
Considering Lady Jamandi's fate, I'm not surprised that a whole pack of assassins were unleashed on her, including a giant. But what's at stake? What could anyone hope to gain?
Do you need help putting out the fire?
No, we'll manage. I've got my best people here, those who still live. Your place is by Lady Aldori's side.
It doesn't seem right. What if some of the guards are wounded? We need to help them.
Where's the hall?
You'll have to run through the fire. We've almost put it out at the entrance, so your main concern should be to not inhale any smoke. Hold your breath and take the first right, then head straight down the hallway.
I'll go immediately.
Fire doesn't frighten me, thanks to hell's blood running in my veins. I'll go ahead and wait for you on the other side. Catch up!
May Abadar keep you safe.
Abadar. And so our adventure started, earlier and much more tragic than we'd expected. The whole team who'd gathered in the hall yesterday had been reduced to but a handful of brave souls, led by Taco Bee, and not at all by that scoundrel Tartuccio, no matter what he might have imagined of himself. Jamandi Aldori was waiting for us, but to get to her we'd have to march through fire, literally. As we approached the burning building, So yeah, it's all written from, like, you know, as if this is Lindsay writing the book. It's pretty great. We drenched ourselves with buckets of water. Prudence is the key to victory, but moving through the fire we thoroughly wet our clothes and hair. After that, we covered our noses and mouths before we rushed inside. It was a good thing we hadn't wasted any time. After entering the building and taking just a few steps forward, the wall behind us slanted and crashed down with a terrible crackling sound, blocking the way back. While we may not have planned on going back, if we'd come in a little later, the flaming logs and red-hot bricks would have fallen right on our heads. Regardless, we were left with only one way to go. The hot air burned our lungs, and our eyes watered from the smoke, but Taco Bee led us stubbornly through the flames, while Tartuccio did nothing useful at all. We'd made it to the hallway leading to the banquet hall when we heard someone calling for us. It was Valerie, one of the guards I chatted with a bit in the banquet hall. Even then, in that calm setting, I'd been stunned by her beauty. But now, amid the smoke and flame, she looked like a celestial avenger, an armored deity, menacing but beautiful and merciful, descending from the higher spheres to help us poor mortals. She held a burned, barely living guard in her arms. "There are two more," she shouted as she passed by us. "They are wounded. Help me pull them out." Tartuccio grumbled something about how Jamandi was waiting for us. Meanwhile, Taco Bee rushed to save the guards from the fire. Saving the poor fellows didn't take long. Together we lifted them up and carried them away from the fire. Only then did Valerie pause to catch her breath and wipe the sweat from her face. "Thank you. That was truly noble of you," she said. "And now let us rush to Lady Aldori's aid." Ensuring the guards we'd rescued were relatively safe, we made our way to the hall, where the battle was already in full swing. Alright, so Valerie is fatigued. But, you know. Well, we could collect it all, I suppose. Alright, so you could turn-base this whole thing, but I find it takes a long time. And it's just a lot easier and faster to bash your way through. It's not a very difficult fight. I don't know why Kaisi always bugs out like this. This happens every time. I don't know if it was a mod issue or not, but there you go. Yep, she's still going. Boom. Alright, then you can loot to your heart's content. Some nice bracers. Oh yeah, get all that stuff. Make sure you loot the fire giant. For a great axe, chain shirt.
Thank you for your valor and bravery. The enemy was strong, but you were stronger, and that means I made the right choice. Just as I thought, there were worthy leaders among you. I'm especially grateful to them for the courage and common sense they showed while defending the mansion. But this attack means we have even less time than I thought. Someone already knows of our plans and is acting against us. You'll begin your expedition immediately.
Lady Aldori, please, I know who arranged this attack. The vile king of Pitax, Iroveti. What's more, I know who among us works for him. Hey, you! Show everyone the ring you're wearing. You think I wouldn't recognize Iroveti's seal? That's why she wasn't killed. The bandits recognized her as one of their own by this signet ring.
God, -1, no. I have no connections at Pitax, but Tartuccio's name, accent, and clothes seem like he came straight from there. Which of us looks more like they might be Iroveti's spy?
Probably, yes. But this evidence is circumstantial at best. There's definitely a spy among us. But who? All I have is one word against another. I'm afraid you're both under suspicion.
They both came to your aid, Lady Jamandi. But a liar's cunning knows no bounds. I've never met these two or their companions. For all I know, they're all conspiring spies.
How could you say that? We fought together. We literally went through fire together. And then you vanished into thin air. After you promised you'd wait.
My words might be rash.
I bet my life the spy's anyone but this woman. I saw how she dealt with those creeps with my own eyes. A true warrior. I'd go with her through hell and high water. This purple crook, on the other hand. He's got the eyes of a spy. And the mug of a spy!
Lady Aldori, don't listen to this thick-headed barbarian. She doesn't know what she's talking about. During the attack, our leader showed her true colors. She forced us to break into the armory and rob it.
Forgive me for my trespass. In my defense, we were in the middle of a battle and in dire need of weapons.
An attack is no reason to break into rooms in someone else's house and pocket their property.
That was a sound decision. Sometimes one must act at one's own risk and peril, until crossing the boundaries of what is allowed. Showing initiative is no crime.
It is insane when faced with death to stop and question whether you may be breaking some law or rule. Even more insane would be to ask forgiveness for making the right decision. Sorry, but your words display a lack of wisdom.
Well, I do have an 8 in wisdom.
What about that trick she pulled right before we came in here? She knew very well you were fighting the enemy, but instead of rushing to help you, she dallied as long as she could, dropping everything to save people from the fire, even though the guards were handling things just fine. She was obviously hoping to show up too late and find you already dead.
People are dying right in front of me. How could I just walk by?
Trying to save others is commendable, but Tartuccio's right. You were needed here more.
May Shellen spare me from ever having to make such a choice, but she behaved decently, as a true leader.
A true leader is someone who has their priorities straight, not someone who would put a valuable ally's life in danger for the sake of some servant.
Enough squabbling. I'm still not sure which of you I can trust. However, the risk of entrusting the whole affair to a spy is too great. Here's what we'll do. 2 teams will head out. That way, I'll know at least one group can be counted on to serve my interests in the stolen lands.
Lady Aldori, most of those who were to set off for the stolen lands have been killed. Those who yet live will require help. Please allow me to join the expedition.
I'm sad to lose such a talented warrior. But you're right, Valerie. They have greater need of you right now. Go, and may Abadar keep you. Which of the 2 teams would you prefer to accompany?
If my leader allows, I would join her team. She seems a worthy commander in my eyes.
Commanders, military leaders, all these laws and rules are but dust and vanity. I suppose I will accompany Tartuccio.
Our leader is good in battle, but I don't like all the spiritual agonizing. I prefer those who can act without wasting time helping every little pipsqueak. Those like Tartuccio.
Ugh, Tartuccio's going to take the credit for himself and be done with it. Shellen, spare me from such allies. I'm going with you. You're a hero worthy of my quill.
As for me, I know neither of these 2. At least, not well enough. And I have no wish to become an unwitting pawn to an unworthy leader. If Lady Jamandi allows, I'll remain in Restov and help mend the wounds this attack has inflicted. But who knows? The road may bring me to the Stolen Lands, but not yet.
I don't even need to think. I'm coming with this woman. As for you, Purple Toad, just wait until we meet along the way. I'll be sure to hang your rotten spy guts from the trees.
All right, we have 2 teams. To avoid unnecessary conflict on the road, you'll each take a different route to the Stolen Lands. Tartuccio's team will go through Navakta's crossing. The garrison commandant will provide him all the help he needs. You will take your team to Oleg Leviton's trading post. He's been complaining about the Stag Lord's bandits for a while now. There, you'll be provided with all the necessary travel supplies. Tartuccio, your words are quite convincing. But I can't afford to trust words alone. If you're really innocent, I hope you'll prove it with your deeds. While you're away, Keston will investigate the night's events and learn who in Restov is working for Patox. But you should know that it isn't just Patox we need to worry about. The Royal House of Sertova may also interfere in our plans. I've managed to keep this affair a secret from them so far, but that can't last long. By my estimations, you have no more than 3 months. After that, any feats you accomplish will be pointless. And now, farewell. This battle was but the first ordeal along your path, and you overcame it as true champions of Restov. May the obstacles that follow also fall to your feet. Fear nothing, my friends, and return victorious.
Okay. So.
Surviving a terrible night, our small team set off to brave our fate. Beware, Stolen Lands. Heroes are on the way.
Yeah, so I've done that a bunch of times, but I've always done it with, making good choices like that. So I don't know how it differs as far as what companions join you. Okay, here's an outline if you're curious. So depending on your choices, you can get Valerie and not Harim, or you can get Harim and not Valerie. You can get Lindsay but not Jathal, or Jathal but not Lindsay. Amiri is always loyal to you. I can't imagine not having Lindsay along with you. She seems like the heart of the party. Yeah, I mean, overall, I like having these 3. But yeah, it is interesting to note again that there's only one male option. Harim. Otherwise, Valerie, Lindsay, Jathal, Amiri, they're all females. But yeah. So we have our setup. We have to strike out into the Stolen Lands, this just unclaimed region. And we have to defeat the Stag Lord, who's the resident bandit lord, and we have to claim it as our barony. And we have 3 months to do it, which is a pretty short timeline. So, Valerie is a level 1 vindictive bastard, which is apparently a divine caster. So she gets sort of like paladin stuff. She gets Vindictive Smite, which lets her add charisma to her attack rolls, paladin level to damage rolls, and charisma to deflection bonus against the target of the smite. It's certainly livable. If we look at her ability scores, 18 strength, 15 charisma, 14 con, 13 intelligence. Yeah, I mean, Vindictive Bastard is reasonable. You could just keep leveling it up. I don't want a sword and board character. And so far she's already picked shield focus, unfortunately. So we might end up doing a full respec on her. Because she's really meant to be just a frontline tank, and I don't want two of those. And I've already settled on that as my main character. So yeah, we're probably going to do a respec on her. And at that point, she can become basically anything we want. So we'll just take a look when we do that. Lindsay, of course, is a bard. She's probably gonna stay a bard because she's, you know, she talks about being a bard and all these kind of things. I don't know how bards work as far as, do you want to stay a bard your whole life, or do you want to multi-class? Do we want to multi-class her into something that's a bit more like ranged, or do we want to just grab, like, I don't know, can you ever grab proficiencies through feats? I don't remember. We're gonna get level 2 soon, so we'll be able to take a look at all these things. I don't know, like, just looking at what you get outside of Inspire Courage, you're basically just kind of a skill monkey. You get Fascinate, but I don't know, it does not seem amazing. Yeah, I feel like we might want to respec, or not respec. We might want to multi-class into something that could just give her like good proficiencies with ranged weapons, and maybe a ranger or something real quick, just to make her more immediately useful on that front. Or we could multi-class into sorcerer. She's got a very good charisma. We could give her a lot more spells. I don't know. She definitely is not a spellcaster, like, primarily. So that might be better because of her very good charisma. She could become kind of a blaster with an 18 charisma, 17 dex. That's an option. And then Amiri is, of course, a barbarian. Straight up, yep, just barbarian, you know. Two-handed, big-time barbarian stuff. Weapon proficiency with a bastard sword. Bred for war. Favored class, barbarian. She rages. Yeah. I mean, martial class is much more likely to multi-class. So we'll be looking at some alternatives that we can do with her. I know Mutation Warrior is like a very common multi-class, just because it gives such good stuff with the mutations. That might be worth it. Just grabbing a mutation thing to add 4 strength is pretty damn good, so we might do that. But yeah, for now we're gonna leave it off here. The intro kind of done. I've gotten past this. I've gone to the trading post and done a couple things there. But beyond that, that's where I've done. So yeah, good stuff. Again, very different setup to Wrath. Very different. We're going to be dealing with a lot more mundane kind of stuff to start. But for now, my name is Mangg. Game watching has been Pathfinder, Kingmaker, and I'll see you fine folks in the next part.